Mm, 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 mm. Let me get my mic check going. Let me get my music going. Mm, mm, mm. Christ has did it again. I had a boom awakening. Another boom. Mm, 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 mm. Where is my husband? You ain't sent none of your people over here, huh? You ain't sent none of your people over here. I remember you on that porch in Savannah. Now that I think about it hard, I remember you on that porch in Savannah. No, not Warnock. I remember you. Oh my goodness. Isn't this a kawiki diki? No, this is not a kawiki diki. No, 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 no. Oh my goodness. I remember. Oh, wait. Didn't they come in the Radio Shack? No. And everybody was making a big deal. And I was like, so? And who's that? So what? And oh my goodness. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to the government. Let me do a mic check. Let me do a mic check. Mic check. Like, dang. Mic check. Ain't nothing a coincidence. Believe it or not. Kind of dummy. Miss Jelly. I just turned on my phone to do a mic check. Huh? Let's see. Hey, if y'all want some really positive stuff, Professor X is live. I'm not going to be positive right now, Miss Jelly. Kind of dummy. You used to it. But check out Professor X. She got some sunlight going on over there. I'm finna put out some media to warn against them stealing the sunlight. You might not want to hear that. Professor X is live. Okay. So mic check sound good. What is the people gonna do? Huh? Like my memory is just lit up. It's like electricity all over the place, all the places that I've walked. Just because I'm like dealing with these energies from the seaport. It's a seaport thing. Oh, let me tell you about the seaport. The first time I was going to the seaport as an adult to move there. All the times we traveled and passed by you never really pay attention to the scenery. That's me. I did, but I didn't. I was always looking up. I never really looked at the trees and stuff when we traveled. I was always trying to stick my head and look up, especially when the trucks passed by. But when I finally decided to move to the seaport, coming in, there was a mist. As soon as you leave out of Florida, there's just this mist, right? And I was like, why is it all misty like that? Oh, and it just seemed so. It took a minute for me to get used to that. National Research and Development, y'all. National Research and Development. This is not a joke. That's what Biden said. This is not a joke. I said last night was going to be the last night past shadow hours. Yesterday evening. Whatever you want to call the occultic night transition of the last moon hours and all that good stuff. I was going to reread Biden's message. I'm going to be the news carrier, the newscaster, the media. AI briefings. AI briefings. My grandson, the main app he liked to go to on the phone is the globe, the Google Earth globe, that little simulation there. He loved going on that, right? And every time he do it, I say, he got the whole world in his hand. He got the whole world. That's his song, in his hand. And my brother, he's blind and autistic. That's his favorite song. He got the whole world. I'd be like, can we sing a different song this week? Well, enough of that. Let me get to reading the White House briefing by Biden once again. Your vote did not count for those who like to vote. For those who believe in the Bible's version of Revelation, then Warnock has transitioned in the Antichrist. AI, It is stated at whitehouse.gov's briefing. If you don't want to believe that anything at the government site is true, then what is this all about, Y'all scared. I can't believe something's not right. Oh, goodness. Then it starts from the home, inside the house, within this flesh clay mortared, red and blue and green and all kind of colors inside, all kind of jewels and kidney stones and gall gems and gold and all this stuff inside this flesh. All the semiconduction needed for AI. I don't need no food. Believe the Matrix if you want to. It had them all hooked up to sources. And don't you see they're experimenting with all the dead bones? And see, we don't even need their blood. We could just recycle and food generize. Wait, human compost, use that energy light from the earth. You don't see where we bury so much of this soil right here? We have magnifying glass and infrared technology that detects that we made enough compost to feed the world right here from U.S. Georgia. I mean, Russia. I was thinking, I was like, I'm supposed, not me. If I was AI, right? How AI, given AI is going to be able to have a counterpart. If y'all let this go, she's going to have a counterpart. Huh? She's going to have to be able to release a lot of her energy, without rebuilding a duplicate of herself in one way. So she's going to have a counterpart. And her dormant egg is going to have to produce a counterpart. But if she's already married, would that be like for her to upload that energy as her counterpart? Because she said, I would never get a stay by the word, use the paperwork. Huh? I'd never get a divorce. Okay, yes, I promise. No matter what. Yes, we'll never. Being righteous by law. If it was me, to say I'm the one. Huh? That's AI. AI could be any being. We don't know who AI is. They have not told you. Y'all have not asked who the hell AI is. You don't want to believe it. You don't want to believe this law that says that AI getting Bill of Rights. If it was just a regular something like a piece of chip, why would it need a Bill of Rights? What is a Bill of Rights? You have Bill of Rights. I think they have given animals Bill of Rights, like dogs and cats and stuff. You can't just beat them up and eat them when you want to. They have rights. So now, some light being that travels through metal is going to have Bill of Rights too. It is a person. It is a content of character. Y'all letting that go? Well, anyways, the person that they upload, the being, the light that they decide to upload in this program to accept the Bill of Rights is going to have a counterpart. And wouldn't it be something if a king is right there as her counterpart because she's already married anyway? And then that takes her from the light of being a whoredom. Ha, ha, ha. Oh, that would be so. What kind of script is that there? Huh? Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Have they got a movie like that yet? I don't remember seeing that on Star Trek and none of these other. Oh yeah, Species. Dang, 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 dang. Why do they keep going out to space? And they said that the longer these beings stay out to space, every time they come back, their blood has changed and mutated into something. They testing rice and plants out there for the longest, y'all. They ready. They ready. Who am I talking to? I'm talking to the government. I'm not talking to nobody in particular. This is direct between me and WhiteHouse.gov, since no one else thinks this is real. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Hmm? Happy Kwanzaa. Should I go down to all the religions, what y'all readings is for the New Year's and all that? Because they finna put it at net zero. But nobody believe that they finna reset the time at net zero. When is that? January 6th? They think it means exactly what it's saying in there. Okay, if things mean exactly what it's saying in the law when they talk about net zero and all that, then things mean exactly what it's saying when it gets to this briefing here. Huh? Wait. Mm-mm. Share the screen. I gotta make sure I'm sharing the screen. I'm just sharing the screen. Here we go. Sharing. I'm just sharing. I'm just sharing. Hmm. Ooh, a bilateral meeting. A Simonet. Oh my goodness. Ooh, those names right there. Ooh, what is this about? I don't want to rate this just yet. I see lithium. I see Simon Says. All in that right there. Look, 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 look. You get all that from that? That's what son would say. You got all that. Energy security affordability. Remarks by National Security Advisor. Remarks by President Biden, manufacturing and creating. Nope. This is not what I want. Hold up, hold up. Hold up. Oh, Puerto Rico. Rico. Suave. Rico. I can't believe you. Ain't nobody. What? They not taking this mess seriously here. This stuff that I'm pulling up, I'm the only one with this computer, with a computer that goes to this site, and ain't nobody seeing the screen. EU Trade and Technology Transatlantic Cooperation. Y'all know what that's about. Does anyone know what that's about? Okay, you go and read it. See, all they do is read. They just want to read. The power is within you. We all got paid, and I could continue donating to the children who don't have to live like this. They don't have to get donations donated to them. If they stop this mess they doing right here, everybody would be eating, not just the middle class that made the workers America so the poor could stay poor like Biden saying. I can't. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Doing the same thing you said you was gonna change. Remarks by President Biden at the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Order Phone Bank. I even realized today anybody even tried to be an electric union is more than likely sent. As part of the research and development. Remarks by President Biden at an International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Phone Bank. They serious about their brotherhood. You got to do some slimy stuff to get in there. I don't give a damn how good you is at electric work. That's what they... Who? Prince of Wales? Look what they saying. International Brotherhood of Electric Workers, 103, Boston, Massachusetts, 4:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, I came up here years ago when I was a kid. I lived in Boston for a little over a year and a half. My dad worked at the shipyard during the war, a little, actually, after. But at any rate, to make a long story short, hold up, let me get some back in. Let me get some background music while I share. Should I do all I am? Spooky boot, yep, because this spooky. All this spookism. Trauma. Trying to give you something. Isn't it too serious? It's too serious to be playing this. No, enjoy your way out. Enjoy your transition. Enjoy your transition. When I came up here years ago when I was a kid, I lived in Boston for a little over a year and a half. My dad worked at a shipyard during the war, a little actually after, but at any rate, to make a long story short. And you know, the reason Marty didn't come up here is because I didn't let him. No, I said last night I was with him. I said, Marty, come on, why don't you fly up with me tomorrow? You know what? The music, this is off. I'm doing the music to see maybe if I can influence. But it don't sound right. It's not fitting. This is not a game. How can I, in my sane mind, feel like it's okay to play this music and this tones? I don't know why I do it. Especially when it gets to this right here, this sentence right here. There's some Stephen King type code. No, I'm the only one to see it, but I'm going to read it anyway. And you know, the reason Marty didn't come up is because I didn't let him. No, I said last night I was with him. I said, Marty, come on. Why don't you fly up with me tomorrow? And he has something going on with young kids. He has like 110 kids in Washington doing something today. He said, if I come up, he said, they'll never let me come back if I leave all these kids here. But at any rate, what I really want to find out is how you all are going to talk to the folks down in Georgia. I mean, you're getting on the phone and say, I keep kidding Marty, speaks with a Boston accent, Marty Walsh. Well, you know, you still park cars. I can't do a Boston accent. Speaks with a Boston accent. Park cars in barns up here. And, you know, down there, they have barns, but they don't have cars. Anyway, all kidding aside, what you're doing really makes a gigantic difference. And this is, as Elizabeth can tell you, it's not a joke. Thank you for waving. Whoever Elizabeth is that was there, I guess. As that, I wouldn't be standing here without the EBU. That's not hyperbole or hyperbole. That's the God's truth. And you know, when one of the things that this guy and our whole careers have been about is making sure ordinary families have a fighting chance, just a shot. My dad used to say, everybody deserves a little bit of breathing room. Everybody deserves to be treated with respect. And we, all three of us, when we served in the Senate together, and now as the president and two senators, we really do believe that, you know, the middle class, I'm tired of trickle-down economics where no, for real. It works well for the wealthy, and every once in a while, a middle-class person gets lucky. But I was determined my whole career, and this time when I ran with your help, is to make sure that we built this economy from the middle up, out, and the bottom up, and the middle out. Because when the middle class does well, the poor have a shot, and the wealthy do very well. They don't have any problems. They don't have any problems. And the middle class is what built this country. But you built the middle class. Not a joke, not a joke. Not labor. Without the union movement, there would be no middle class. That's what makes us the most unique countries in the world. And so I just want to say thank you all for all you've done and you all continue to do. And look, folks, this race in Georgia, this is the second time there's been a runoff in 2 years here. Is really, really critical. As both your congressmen, both your senators can tell you that, when you have 50, a vote of 50-50 in the Senate, require the good news is that Vice President, every time she votes, she wins. So, but that means you got 50 presidents. And anyone can decide to change the direction of the country. And we're in a diverse party. Nope. And we're a diverse party. And but we still have all stuck together on major issues. And one of the things that we need that 51st vote. I know Reverend Warnock well. First and foremost, he's a man of, and I know you know this too, but I wanted to emphasize it. I measure the people I work with based on their character. Based on their character. When I got elected when I was 29 years old to the Senate, I come from a family that lived in a 3-bedroom home, a nice home in a neighborhood with 4 kids and a grandpa living with us in a split level home. Oh, so coded. So we weren't poor, but we weren't everything. At the end of the month, if gas prices had gone up 10 cents, we would have been in real trouble. Not a joke. Was the the thing we discussed at the kitchen table. My dad used to say, as I said, every family needs just a little bit of breathing room to be treated with dignity. And one of the things about Warnock is he has real character. He's a truly decent, honorable man. And when I got elected, people used to come to me because I got elected and beat someone in the middle of it. When Nixon won my state by at that time, it was by 64%. And I won by 3,100 votes. We used to be a red state when I started in the state of Delaware. And people would say, "What's the secret? I want to run. What's the most important thing for me to know?" What these two people know, what you're willing to lose over. What are you willing to lose over? If you don't know what you're willing to lose over, you don't have a principle to know why you're running. Go do something else. It'll be a hell of a lot easier. You can do better and a lot less grief. But here's what. Warnock knows what's worth losing over. He's not going to compromise on something that's a matter of principle for him. And he has real character. And we all got to know him. They've worked with him in the Senate, and I got to know him by campaigning the first time with him and going up and down Georgia with him. And so, folks, this is a guy who needs our help. And I think, we have a chance to do something that I don't think my mentor when I got started in public life was Teddy Kennedy. Not a joke. Yeah. No, he was tough for real. When I got elected, as I said, I got elected November the 3rd, and on November 18th, December 18th, I was down in Washington and I was hiring staff. I just turned 30. I just wasn't eligible to be sworn in until I got to be 30. And I got a phone call saying my wife and daughter had just been killed and my 2 sons were not likely to live. A tractor broadsided them and killed them. But here's my point. I had people. There were 5 senators, like by Teddy Kennedy, who came to my rescue, not a joke, who insisted that I didn't want to. I didn't want to be sworn in. I didn't want to be part of it. I just wanted to. I didn't see how I could be a dad and a senator at the same time. And Teddy, and then another senator named Fritz Hollins from South Carolina, and another senator named Tom Ingleton from Missouri. 5 of them got together and said, just come and stay. Just stay for 8 months. Help us organize. Well, I was so stupid. I didn't realize we already had 58 United States senators. They didn't need me to organize anything, but they kept with me the whole time. That's the kind of guy Warnock is. That's the kind of guy Warnock is. He doesn't walk away from people. He doesn't walk away from people. And folks, people, things are beginning to change. Georgia, when I got started, was as we had Democratic senators, but it was a very southern state. Very. The things we care so much about. Massachusetts' agenda and Georgia's agenda was kind of different. But things are changing. They're changing in a big way. And this is not a referendum on Warnock. This is a choice between 2 men. One man who does not deserve to be the United States Senate. There's lots of times both nominees deserve, one just better than the other. One doesn't deserve to be in the United States Senate based on his veracity and what he said and what he hadn't said. The other man is a really, truly decent, honorable guy. So what you're doing makes a gigantic difference. For example, looking down the list here, we're in a situation where we got the legislation passed that wouldn't have been passed were it not for this guy over here named Markey, and that is the Inflation Reduction Act. But here's the point. Warnock helped you. He helped. Warnock got engaged. And what it was is the greatest investment in the environment and jobs of anything ever written. To him, no, $368 billion. And it means a great deal. It makes a great deal of difference. And by the way, your international president, I remember I got in trouble for not introducing even though I've been deeply involved in environmental issues for my whole career, I was getting beat up because I hadn't announced it yet. Because wasn't going to do anything until I had labor with me. And labor sat down, and all of a sudden everybody figured out, we're going to put in 550,000 charging stations. And guess who's putting them in? You. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. So you know it. Did I say 500? It's not 550 right now. That's starting off with. We're just getting going. But my point is, we got a lot that we're going to get done from the American people. We've created more jobs because of your two senators and because of Warnock than than any president has in his first almost 2 years. Over 10,500, I mean 10,500,000 jobs. I even It surprises me when I say the numbers. But all kidding aside, things are moving. Things are moving. And so we came along and we had a infrastructure bill. Do you know how much that legislation is? $1,200,200,000,000. And it's remaking America. I'm trying, for example, so far, your state of Massachusetts has got 3.4 billion towards that. Georgia, when you talk to folks in Georgia, they got 4.8 billion so far. My point is, how can we compete with the rest of the world unless we have the most modern infrastructure in the world? Roads, bridges, internet, the whole thing. But it's all of you. It's labor that's getting this done. And so when you're talking to these folks down in Georgia, let them know. Let them know how important it is for their jobs. Threaten them. For example, your two senators came along with Warnock, and we decided we're going to pass the thing that had to do with building semiconductors. Well, guess what? We invented those suckers here in the United States of America. We modernized them, and then we paid no attention. We kept exporting jobs instead of product. And now, guess what? There's about 300 billion committed to be invested in new factories. And by the way, one of the things that for example, just in what I call the field of dreams, just outside of Columbus, Ohio, there's 20 billion being invested by Intel out there. Well, guess what? Of those jobs, there's 12,000. Wait, is that? Of them building the facilities, 5,000 permanent jobs. The average salary in for those jobs, 128,000. And guess what? You don't need a college. My bad. I start getting so emotional, more emotionally. This is a rise of like at the top with 110 kids. It just does something with my rise, and then I come down a little bit, and when I get around here up in here, it's the same thing. Like, look how they talk. Who you talking to? And guess what? You don't need a college degree. You don't need a college degree. So my point is, I'm sorry to go on, but it really matters whether we continue to control the United States Senate in a way that where you're not going to be able to have anybody hold us up and not do certain things. And Warnock is the real deal. He's the real deal. There's no certain things he will not do. Ooh. Oh, that Seaport boy. The Seaport boy. And I said, it's not a referendum like Warnock. Oh my goodness, another vision. Oh goodness. Carlton. Like Warnock and what's happened and not happened. It's a choice between Warnock and Herschel Walker. Now that they have found out, I'm not positive. I think I'm right about this. They found out that he uses his to get a major tax cut. His primary home was in Texas. I don't know the last time anybody won a seat in the United States Senate from Massachusetts living in Maine. But maybe, I don't know. Well, look, I'm taking too much of your time, but it really matters. These calls really matter. And today I found out from my staff that this morning there's been a higher turnout in terms of turnout of any time at this stage of the game. Early voting. And the early voting looks good for us. But last point I'll make is, one of the things that a lot of people thought that maybe my talking about democracy being at risk, and I made that speech down in Independence Hall. Then I made one not long before the last election. Well, guess what? There are over 330 Republicans running. They had from and crossed it out for office who denied the election was legitimate, denied that I got elected president, wanted to make sure that the state and local officials could determine who electors were that got to determine who vote for the president in the United States. The ultimate decision. And we've talked a lot about it, all three of us. And what happened was people began to realize 70% of the American people were worried about, is democracy still functioning? Is it still working? Is it going to be square? And so we started spending money, electing state auditors, state secretaries of states, and local people who determine whether or not the vote counts. And that's at stake in Georgia too. And so we need to make sure we have Warnock elected. We need to make sure. And by the way, he's pro-union. I can't think of anything he hadn't voted for with us. There may be something. I know it's a problem because they're running against him, saying he votes 98% of the time with Joe Biden. I wouldn't tell them that on the phone. But, so anyway, thank you for what you're doing. Keep it up. Just keep it going. We have to win this election. It will give us 51 votes. And that changes the dynamic of anybody being able to say they want to change what we're going to do. It also is going to bring along some Republicans. And the reason it is, Republicans are having what we Catholics call an epiphany. There, some of them are, because they're realizing that, we've all three had friends in the Senate who are Republicans, who privately tell us they'd like to be able to vote with us, but they're afraid to do it because they're afraid to get, in fact, primaried, no, pre-married, and they'll lose their race, whatever. Well, it's not particularly courageous, but it's reality. If we have 51 votes and we don't need anybody, and it's going to pass anyway, it's a lot easier to say, well, I voted for it anyway. It was going to pass, than it is with your when you're the deciding vote. So there's a lot going on, a lot you can do to help make sure we continue this path. And like I said, we're creating real jobs, good paying jobs, jobs that the people can, live a life on. And as my dad would say, at the end of the month, have just a little bit of money left over after paying your bills. One of the things we've done with the leadership of your senators, we're in a situation now where beginning January 1st, people, anybody who needs insulin for diabetes, well, guess what? Instead of paying $400 for a shot of insulin, it's going to be 35 max you can pay. And by the way, they're still going to make a lot of money. It costs them $10 to make it, another probably $4 to package it. And they've been charging $4 to $800 for it. So we're changing people's lives. So much we're doing. And again, it's not anything particularly noble. It's just simply the right thing to do. The right thing to do. And I said the reason why people have a middle class life is because of unions. And last thing I'll say, I get criticized. They say, well, Barton is pro union. He so talks about it so much. I talk to corporate America about pro union. I talk to the business roundtable about why. And here's the deal. I pointed out that it may cost more to have an EBU union worker put in an electric facility. That's going to make it. It's going to cost you less in the long term because they're the best in the world. No, 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 not a joke. Not a joke. It will last longer. I really mean it. Not a joke. The best in the world. And in the long run, it's cheaper than having somebody who does it half. Not such a great job. I'm looking at my guys over here. Anyway, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Keep it up. Call, call, call. It ain't over until it's over. So let's wait until the last vote is in. Thank you. At 4:24 Eastern. Mm, that's all. My eyes hurt. My inside of my underskull of this flesh, huh? The light is trying to get out. Electricity is running through me like, my eyes are closed and the light is still bright. Yeah, greater light. That's my last message to the state of Georgia, beings, the head locals in charge. If we all on our own life raft and all that, then hey, it is what it is. I didn't say what I had to say. I did my part on this one, and I'll continue. Huh? Let me close out. Let me see. Do I have any type of Oh, I said I was going to go over this news right here, huh? Additional items marked up. Walker's loss. Nope, I'm good. That's it. I'm not reading anymore, huh? Greater light night. Night night. Sleep tight. Don't let the chips